That was when the protests had started. First, it had been subtle. A couple of posters on the lampposts and notice boards in the area, proclaiming vague but pointed statements about this still being a Christian country. Then the letters had started. The first few were very polite, simply requesting that certain decor elements be removed from her front window. The first claimed that someone's small child was frightened of the cement skull that she had on display, and she was happy enough to shift it to a deeper part of the store. But the letters hadn't stopped. More and more came, taking issue now not just with the appearance of her store, but with its content. Specific books she stocked were ungodly and offensive. The sale of tarot decks was an affront to local religious groups. She took to burning the letters without reading them, in the end, irritated but not worried. Not yet. Then the spurious complaints began. She fell victim to a campaign of one-star reviews on various online platforms, claiming that various customers had been treated rudely or attacked for their beliefs by staff members. And as the only staff member, Delphine knew for a fact that all of these reviews were lies. Then complaints about the store itself being unsafe, unsightly, an eyesore in need of renovations. She had building inspectors visiting weekly to follow up on spurious complaints about leaks, faulty wiring, unsteady flooring on the upper stories. And all the while, the letters kept coming, as did the visitors, well-dressed, tightly buttoned people with pinched faces and hard eyes, who'd peer through her windows but never set foot in the store and would recoil as if scolded if she made eye contact with them, hurrying off into the street. It wasn't long before she figured out who was to blame. All it took was a bit of Googling. She had her ways, and she knew how to use a search engine. It turned out Austin had its fair share of fundamentalist religious organisations, and some of them had decided that her little occult bookstore would make an excellent example to the more open-minded, artistic community that it serviced. She found a website, signed up for an account to gain access to its message boards, and recoiled in shock at just how many people were involved in the campaign to bring her down. Well, she wasn't going to have it. She spent the rest of the evening in quiet meditation, cast a few protection spells, and readied herself for battle. That had been months ago. She'd tried several avenues, reached out to the churches in question, even set up meetings with a few religious leaders, but it ended up being a dead end. All of them professed ignorance of the targeted campaign against her store, and the closest she could get to a confirmation that it was even happening was a priest who shrugged his shoulders and said that the people of the church got up to all kinds of extracurricular activities that he had no say in.